Evening Collective. Looks like it's 23:08. Settled in here. I've learned, oh, gotta change it. I got my little pedestal. Oh, dang. Who needs a pedestal, right? Here's a clipboard to hold my phone. I'll prop it up here. Oh, Dad doesn't even want to do that, so screw it. I don't know why it worked so good last night. What changed? Anyway, I'm just feeling good. I have another video coming. I hit the daily upload limit. I was waiting for, well, it took the entire night for one video to upload, and then I just had to do it at home. And and then once I got home, boom, it was done in like 5 minutes. It took 8 hours. That's how it goes, right? So it looks like I'm gonna be uploading videos in the morning when I get home. Since I'm paying $80 for an internet connection, I don't have a laptop. And even though I have a little bit extra money, just got paid, I'm not buying a new phone, not buying a new service, not buying a laptop, not buying anything extra. And if I have any extra money, it'll be next paycheck. But like I said, December, I'm holding off on spending money. There's all kinds of different opportunities, chomping at the bit, ideas coming in. And see, most people, they're afraid to show their ideas, afraid somebody will take it. Well, that's the easy way to refine things in the collective. If you have an idea and you can get it out there and everybody else can take it, it's not that good of an idea. Especially if they can do it without you. Like, as the one that came up with the idea. That's how it works a lot of times. Like, the one that comes up with the idea is meant to be the one to carry it out. And so everyone else could do the idea. And that person could be, suddenly the universe tells that person, nope, you guys just missed out. It's not gonna happen now. You guys just took it and ran with it, and it never became what anybody wanted it to be, and what the visionary had in mind. So, that was just a test phase. So there's not really, in my line of work anyway, at the moment, it changes daily. Of course, at some point there'll be a non-disclosure agreement. But my duty is, as a muse, is to amuse you and let you amuse me, and see if we can get past everything that's amusing and get to something that's comfort and sitting fancy free, and all the hard work is just play all day, and we can just close the damn blinds and get to business, whatever that might mean. God dang, I'm thirsty today. When he was dancing, when he was dancing, when he was dancing, when he was dancing. I'm the only one he let dance on top of his feet. I'm the only one he let dance on top of his feet. Oh, it was just something that came to me earlier. Kind of feeling this. Oh yeah, so I got another video to upload that'll be before this one. And so last night I did a whole shitload of shorts because I was waiting the whole night for one video to pop off. And then, by the time I got home, then I was really on a roll. What energy are we pulling on tonight? We're giving into, is what I'd say. Tap in, shit. I don't know what tap in is. I'm bottoming out that bitch. Coming out the other side. Well, we gotta pin it down on something. I mean, otherwise we can get wild here. This can go anywhere as soon as we draw a card. Well, the last one, it's not up yet, but the theme kind of had to do with the ring, the concept of marriage and a ring. And so then the theme carries on, because then it tied into the ring of fire and protection and and love and duty to each other by agreement. And then here, the first deck I pull out is the second oldest deck I got, given to me by a great friend, ØBI, if you're looking. I hope you're doing well. Is the Lord of the Rings deck. Who knew that there was a Lord of the Rings deck? It was made in 1997, and it's also a card game. So, a tarot card game. And it's got the storyline on it, too. So, in theory, the one ring to rule them all. Put these out face down. One ring to rule them all. Let's give us some advice on that, Spirit. I don't really use that term very often because I don't talk to spirits. I don't necessarily talk to God. To me, it's an integrated thing. The Holy Spirit is in all things and the one talking to me and guiding me, and I'm in that motion. And if I'm asking God for something, then it's me as the smallest mind. I'm on my knees in the dark in there, just looking up at myself going, I hope this works out. This is what I asked for Christmas. I'm sitting on her knee. And the weirdest thing that I hate about the past, that I hope gets transmuted, is especially whenever life was just really crushing in on me. I was losing everything. There was nowhere left to go. And somebody had me pinned in a corner, like all trapped in their house and shit, and then rip the rug out from under my feet. And it would break me down to cry, like not like an emotional cry or like a relieval cry, but really just like bawl, like if I had a gun, I'd want to blow my brains out that second. Like to be in that spot, like, why does this keep happening to me? Just like, Then every time I get to that point, whether it's God or those that watchers or protectors, every time, and it wouldn't be like it was set up either. It wouldn't look like it was set up at all. Like anybody could do that unless, like, they got a machine and they're like watching society and they're like, okay, we can ping into this person's subconscious brain and we'll move them over here. And like, oh, just a minute. Shit, I forgot everything I was just saying. Ain't that how it goes? I'll have to watch it back later and figure it out. Lord of the Rings. Union. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for a lot of things to come in. Just trying to be comfortable with what I have. Since I have abundance, one doesn't need to go out and be like, oh, I need a new phone. I've had these 2 shitty phones forever. One's the better phone, but it has a SIM card issue. and now the case is cracked because it was too bulky with the protector on it. But it's my good phone. It's bigger screen. It's all that, you know. And then I have my phone that I bought brand new at the beginning of COVID, and it's the only phone I've ever broke the screen on. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. It's got like this shatter pattern that sparks out from here and goes all from that one little spot. And it even has a perfect V over the camera. So you can tell when I use this one, especially outside, the light's all glinting. And this phone, the only screen I've ever broke, I was probably a little more hyped than hype, but I was just like, I made a good point in text or whatever, and I just went like this. I just went like that, but it fucking just boom, shattered the whole screen. I was like, damn, son, you need to calm down. And this phone has been through the fucking ringer. Oh my God, dude, I can't imagine. Like, I can't believe the motherfucker's still running. It's been through the ringer. So, man, I love a new computer. And my laptop, right? So, I got that during COVID too, because I was going to start a new business and everything. Kind of like I was wanting to be where I am now, but I had a whole bunch of information and a whole bunch of stuff that I had to organize before then. For better or worse, till death do us part. If I don't ever get another kiss before this ends, goddamn, and give me a goddamn light bulb. And, my laptop. I originally had this 3D display, the curved screen, ultra wide, and I had just like this desk counter here. There's I have my L-shaped big old desk, and then I have my laptop set up, but it's a high-powered gaming laptop. It weighs like fucking 30 pounds. The heat sink of that thing is so heavy you wouldn't want to carry around a backpack. It's like a $2,000 laptop. And then I had my curved screen on the kitchen counter that was just slightly higher than it. So then I had a second screen. Oh, I just had a beautiful setup, but I didn't know what the fuck I was going to do with myself at that time. So then, that was awesome for the time being. And then for a couple of years. And then the hard part of where I had to sell all my shit off, and I'm living in a house with no lights and not any food, and whether or not, and I hadn't even had any drugs in a while, and having to walk like 2 miles into town every day just to sit at a place and get a glass of water, just to get on my laptop to download tarot videos of all the people that made me feel like I was worthy of being alive each day, and then to go back to my apartment and run an extension cord to the outside of the building through the window, and then I had a fan plugged in, I had my laptop plugged in, and then I have to switch out the microwave if I had anything to eat, or a desk lamp at night. And then I lived like the whole month of July of 2020, maybe like that, maybe 2021. And there was like, out of that month, there was probably close to 20 days I didn't eat. And I was walking to town, and it was like 100 degrees every day. And then coming home, and I remember eating dried cat food. And when I did, I hadn't eaten in like 5-6 days. Somebody gave us some cat food, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Gave some to the cats, and I go sit at the computer. I remember I'm playing. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my life. Like, I don't fucking know. So I had a download of like SimCity 2000 or something. I think it's still on the laptop if I could ever get back into it. Which now that like the hinge is broken, so like it has to be propped up against something because the monitor doesn't stay. The keyboard's got a burn hole right in the middle of it, right on the letter J. Like, just like it's been through the fucking ringer. I was playing SimCity 2000, and there's a reader on here. Do we know of each other? Mabel, Maji got the T. She's like, maybe I should I should copyright the teapot. But I don't know. Just at the time, it's so nostalgic when we get past the hard parts in our life. it becomes so nostalgic. And so like it's so grateful to have gotten through that, where anybody else, you know, you could be like, you know, I hit my mom up and then, oh, it carried me through the month or whatever, and that was fine. Which in that case, it was my mom that was the one that put me in that situation. Along with a lot of the things, including my own actions, you could say, you know, I mean, and then the system was jerking me around and, you know, is paying back some kind of karmic debt to society for not arresting me when there was every right to arrest me by the simple idea of, well, if this substance is illegal, then if you possess it, then are you bad or good? You know, kind of thing. And so having to carry that out through the end of COVID to reset the scales, but that was just such a magical, weird time in my life. I remember walking at night, like I'd run out of tarot videos, and like this was every day. Like I literally still have a backup of over 2,000 tarot videos, thousands of hours. I mean, of all you readers out there that view me, I know you. I mean, I don't know you, but you know. And I'm not a fan either. I'm not like, oh, you know, like, ooh, I want this one or whatever. I really feel like we're a family. Like, and you have a deep place in my heart as my best friends. Even if you were tearing me apart or trying to get all the information you could out of me for your own devices, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's all love. Now, I mean, and so in my mind, the tarot readers are emblazoned just as much as anybody's favorite song. That there's certain people that, till the day I die, they were there for me in the hardest period of time when there wasn't a drop to drink, food to eat, a cigarette to smoke, anybody to call in the world, no electricity, no food, no lights, no friends, not a goddamn thing on the place of the earth, and everybody's just hanging over you like a dark cloud, like you're like Cain that just got kicked out of the Garden of Eden or some shit, you know, like. So there's nobody we want to talk about on tarot readers around me. I mean, we can talk about hypothetically, and what people's belief on tarot reading is. Yeah, we can talk about that all day. And yeah, some of those things are true to some respect in some ways and whatever. But it's really, you know, you guide your own future. And the way you think of people is the way they think of you. And so I hold them in super high esteem. Every single one of them. I remember, you know, there's been all kinds I've spent time with. Maybe that's the conversation of this video, is to talk about the past and some of my story and my experience and how tarot came into my life. The very first tarot video I ever watched was after I spent a Christmas literally in the dark with nothing, and like I'd had dope that whole month, but then I didn't have any over Christmas for whatever reason for a week or two, and which is unusual that something wouldn't happen for me. Like it's weird how the divine has played with my life, and if everybody else is having a great time and I don't belong there, God's gonna give me what makes me happy. And if it's being all fucked up by myself, then I'm gonna be all fucked up by myself hanging out with my favorite singers. I'm gonna be sitting there and finger painting on the floor, high as fuck, by myself. What else would God want for his child, any of us? If you don't belong, then God wants you happy. God wants you creative. God wants you playing. God doesn't want you to be trying to fit in. Doesn't want you to only be happy because it has to do with spending money or some kind of belonging. God wants you to be happy with you. If you can be happy there, fuck everything else, really. But that's not even a thought. Like, fuck everything else. Because that shows that there's some kind of opposition. Ain't no opposition. You do you, I'm doing me. We're doing whatever we're doing. And if we were doing it together, then what the fuck matters otherwise, right? And so I'd spent that Christmas starving, frozen. It was like 40 degrees in my apartment. I remember having and not wanting to get up out of bed, like basically trying to kill myself. Like my spirit was trying to kill myself without explicitly saying it. It was like I was just like it was like a dope fever, but without the fever, without the dope, it was just I was being smothered by spirit from all dimensions to see if I'd survive. And I was having nightmares and dreams about the Queen of England and about the throne and my service to those that created the Bible and all these spirits talking to me. And I had like 4 blankets on. I remember the cats. Like I'd just only get out of bed in the morning if there was anything to feed them, because they always get to eat first. If there was anything for the cats to eat, then fucking there ain't nothing for me to eat, because they get to eat every first on schedule. My kids always come first. But kids have basic needs, and so it's best not to overdo it, too, because when they have less, then what happens? They come right and they're like, I love you, I love you, I love you. I don't know what else I need, I love you. And so that's like a great bond, rather than to be like, here's a video game, go play, get out of my hair. Here's a toy, go play, get out of my hair. Here, go, get out of my hair. Well, then they learn that love belongs somewhere else. And then when they have you, they're like, well, what can you do for me? I feel like I had a weird sleep schedule today. It's been off all week, but I've been sleeping like so good. So then I had that Christmas, right? And I remember doing the Rosicrucian chant before meditation, like every night. Like I was sleeping like 24 hours a day. I couldn't get out of bed other than to get up in the 40-degree weather, go feed the cats if there was anything to feed them, and then crawl into bed and just be there. And I don't know if I had cigarettes or anything. And just basically wishing that I would suffocate and die. And the cats would be burrowed under the 3 or 4 blankets, and that part was real cozy. But it was really the end of my life kind of death. And then come January, all of a sudden, the flow started to come back in, where like a week later, all of a sudden the hotel calls me and says, I think it's the same year, I can't remember. Hey, one of our partners, my brother's hotel, his name is the one running it's Vishnu, at a Ramada that I used to assistant manage the store next to, and I knew somebody who passed away in that hotel. So like there's all these links happening in the world that come back to me double bank that nobody else could perceive, and his name's Vishnu. And I showed him this book, and it's called The Way of the Heart, and he looked at it and he's like, nah, because it's an Islamic book and he's Hindu, But hey, what, Vishnu? I thought you could balance everything, Vishnu. Anyway, and so then I worked for them on New Year's Eve. We got double pay, and then something happened. Then all of a sudden they started, I think it was the same time. It's hard to say. If it was the time when crypto began starting up, and so then I had another 6 months of prosperity, or if that was the year before. But I remember, so then a tarot reader, let me see if I can remember her name. I see her face right away, and I know I have her videos. She moved away from tarot, and she's really eclectic and nerdy in the coolest ways. God dang it. And she changed her name on the channel as Ember and Fury. Ash. she even fucking, yeah. She even, like, after doing it, she suddenly stopped doing tarot videos after I'd been around on the wall, and then literally read the entire Bible on camera, front to back, and then put the Bible and religion and tarot aside, and then started like dating and geocaching and just being out in the world and whatever. And I should check up on her and see how she's doing, because she had this reading about how I was being watched. But I'd never even seen tarot before. I was still like down deep in the code of words, and I was just checking in with the horoscope each day. But that was the way that the powers that be or the Holy Spirit could also talk to me too. Like I could tell whether I was going to be able to get high that day or not based upon the signs that were in the zodiac, like whether it brought up Uranus, Aquarius, and sometimes Capricorn. Those were usually the signs, and I could tell, like, okay, like, I need some shit today, like, so I can get some more work done. If one calls this work, like, and I look, and I'm like, it looks like it's probably likely. Please, okay. If it doesn't belong to me, then don't send it. Because if you said whatever you give to me, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to use it for whatever it's meant for and give it all back to you. So just please bless me, God, and take care of me. Whatever happens, it's in your hands. And that's all I'd ever say. I was never wanting or not wanting. I wanted the guidance, but then the guidance has to come from within. Well, how are you guiding yourself from within, surrounded? And so that was a very delicate balance of nature, above and below time period, and talking about how like because of the weird things that you do, the tantric things, and part of your your phases, they're thinking about recording you and sharing that as a sex tape or whatever. And I'm like, that actually kind of occurred to my mind since I was being watched and shit. But it just like struck me like, God damn, I'm really paranoid now. But I was never paranoid before. Like, I don't know. I just see what I perceive as real, and at the same time, just take it with a grain of salt, equally. And so that's what started me on tarot. And then I hit YouTube up at the end of that January and started my channel, kind of. And then it was like that, like, I remember it had something to do with, like, within the next few weeks, I had like some kind of beginning of the age of Aquarius, like as if it's like the phases of the moon, and it was beginning to phase in. And that was like 3 years ago. And I started doing my playlist thing. For those that know me well enough, know that was an epic, specialized, cool part of my existence. Where's it at now? It's hidden. And anything that was, like, I have all these document files of all the titles, things that I said in them, in the comments, the times and date stamps, the star codes, like all that shit. But I don't have all of them. But it doesn't really matter. It's just experience under the belt. But it was proving the ability of channeling and like the divine showing me my gift and my power, but also weaving it with all others, with tarot readers, with the sky, with the earth, with the different tribes of the world, with the languages, with the singers, and battling the ego of the ego with the ego on and off a substance, and just weaving the whole netting together without anything, And it started on January 31st, that 131 number, which the 131st day of the year is usually, I think it's 5'11". So you'd think that I was 5'11" tall, but they don't even want to call me 5'10". They always say, "Oh, you're 5'9" and a half." Well, a half still has a 5'9", 1, 2. Oh, well, plus 1, that's a 10. Or, yeah. Don't think about it too hard. And so then I really got into tarot videos as a side thing. And so tarot is a really important part of my life. And spending so much time with women just talking, whether they were talking to me or talking to everyone or working through their own issues or whatever their methods or reasons were for anything. It's beside the point. I learned how it helped me balance my energy and receive the love that I didn't get from the world that never, in a sense, never mattered to me before I woke. It was only from awakening that all of a sudden I had all these pains and I could see the past so clearly and how it's like I was being set up my entire life. And those that were to protect me were the ones that kept sacrificing me. And it really made me feel like, the world's under a spell. Just a moment. Yeah, interruptions. Right at 30:32. And it's like, for me, I've been guided and led so much by musicians and then tarot readers as the only ones that I felt like were real close friends. I spent enough time with them, and whether or not they were talking to me or not, that I feel like there's this deep bond, and understanding that it's kept me from wanting to do music and tarot, at the same time as yeah, I'm all about it. But I don't know, it's not my own thing. I feel like I'd be a poser. I don't know. And because of being in a position of no position and everything centering itself upon me and then trying to dig myself out from that, it puts me in this aspect of being pegged down as self-centered when no, that's the last thing from my mind, really. That's why it doesn't matter what I have. I'm just happy and content. But who wants to just be happy and content, And so, then for others, it might seem easier to do tarot and music because it's not quite as sacred and it's tied down to who they are as the aspect and completely removed from it. So for me, it always seems like I'm holding too much power or not enough, or it's too guided or it's not guided enough, or I'm too personable or I'm not personable enough. And so finding that balance has been tricky. And I spend so much of my time messed up thinking about and trying to understand music in the very detailed depths, so that somehow I could just do it naturally. But be able to go back and check my work, oh, okay, Spirit said this. Oh, but somebody else would see it like this. Okay. And really break it down. Which I suppose, yeah, I could do that really well, but that's the hardest thing. It's easy for me to check other people's work. It's not easy to check my own. So I've just learned not to think about it. Just pull your money out, lay it on the table. Whatever comes to mind, that's the title. Who knows if I'll post this? So many interruptions. Yeah, tarot's been a great part of my life. But it's not been the cards. Cards is just my own energy. I would whenever I was in a place where I didn't know anything, what direction to go, then just pull out some cards and whip them down and read where my pole was staked at. And that's actually how I got into divination with the coins of the Tao. The I don't want to read these. Maybe for later. Too many interruptions. But I'll still probably post this. Just some different content. So, yeah, tarot is really sacred to me, but it's mainly only because it has brought me closer to humanity and been able to help me bridge a gap within myself and to see other people's perspectives and to have even more faith and trust in the universe. and to have a greater love for women at the same time as to bring everything into balance. Like, I mean, as soon as you see somebody that, I don't know, for whatever reason, their divinity or just their scent or something about them, you just see them and you're like, that's the one, that's the one. Like, and you just want to jump out of your skin and like crawl right into them, like, that's an amazing feeling. But to be able to hold on to that and carry it with everyone at the same time as keep your own stability, that's something I've learned as well. Where, like, the balance that has to be achieved in a family where there's no higher or lower, and we all have to lift each other up. And as Tarot has been there for me for 3 or 4 years, like, and I've contributed to it a lot because but it wasn't necessarily me trying to contribute. So it's not like, I put in all this work and I got paid, it's not like that at all. It's like I did my thing and the readers did their thing, and it was a symbiotic relationship. But I owe a lot to it, and I believe that the art owes me something as well, and that I truly owe the art something in the future to bridge a gap. Like, I have, some decks planned, but, that could be technically done overnight, or you could put a whole year's worth of work into one deck. I can overthink it to death. I could artwork it to death. I could, make it so simple. I could do 100 decks in a year. But it really comes down to, like, when the time's right and having, like, the branding, And so that setting down that first stone in any business is important at the same time as you're carrying it the whole time. So I think I'm going to end this video right here. I'm just going to call my appreciation to tarot. And I'm going to go fold some laundry. Wait for my other check-ins. Maybe do a real different video. Something else in a little bit. As we get to know each other and practice what we preach and share ideas and get feedback. See, I'm on camera. I got a camera, another camera over there. Plus I got 2 phones. But did you know, if they have any kind of technology at all, obviously they would have technology to be able to hear your thoughts in your head, to place images in there, and to be able to look through your eyes. So, who's paranoid around cameras? If as long as your eyes are open, then they can see what you're seeing, if they wanted to. And when your eyes are closed, whatever you're imagining or thinking to yourself, they already know it and can help you or hold you back at any time. That could instill fear, but it shouldn't, because we have to trust in the universe and be able to fight back against our own fears. Shows the demons and strengthens the ego, because most demons are of the mind itself. Who's boss? By submitting to them and taking the reins and pulling their sleigh, and like, oh shit, guess we gotta keep this one. Ho ho ho.